Welcome to the Department of Life Sciences podcast for Women at Imperial Week 2026. International Women's Day 2026 centres on the theme Give to Gain, the idea that progress happens when we intentionally give respect, voice, care, knowledge, opportunities and resources to others. In a university community, that giving doesn't only apply in lecture theatres or laboratories. It happens in offices, technical spaces, meetings, emails, and everyday interactions that keep the system running. We're bringing together voices from across the Department of Life Sciences, from administration, technical teams, research, and teaching, to reflect on what giving has meant in their working lives and what we can all gain when equity and support are shared responsibilities. In this episode, we are joined by Clara. Clara, could you tell us a little bit about your role at Imperial and maybe a part of your role that you find most rewarding?
Hi there. Yes, sure. So I am the Student Experience Coordinator at Silwood Park. So Silwood Park is our Ascot campus, and we are based quite a long way out of London. And I've been at Imperial for 4 years now, 2.5 in this role, and I was brought on to really help our students feel more connection, I think, with the whole university and to help build the Silwood community. So I'm really here to support students with all areas of life and study at Silwood Park. That includes, support and guidance, perhaps if things aren't going to plan, linking the central services like the career service, the disability service, the union, Move Imperial, to really kind of ensure that our students can connect with those services. I think probably what I find the most rewarding is actually speaking to students, liaising with students, chatting to students, helping students. I just really like that connection. So I think that's definitely the favourite part of my role is, and I learn a lot from the students as well, just from my kind of connections and kind of daily interactions with them.
Good. And would you say that this kind of endeavour to kind of connect with students, work with students, is what motivated you to pursue this career, or was there initial parts that this has kind of evolved into that over time?
Yeah, I think I think both of that really, actually. So I've worked in higher education for 25 years now, actually, which is a very long time, most of which was spent at another London university. And within that role, I was the student support advisor. And I was mainly helping undergraduate students. And I really enjoyed that element of the role of helping students, really feeling that I had a positive kind of impact in their life, in their studies, and really helping them and advocating for them as well, kind of over the years. And at Silwood, I'm obviously doing that as well. I'm helping students, kind of advising them and advocating for them sometimes as well. I also really like Silwood Park. I think Silwood is quite a special place. It's a fabulous community of students and staff where we really support each other actually kind of regularly.
Yeah, and I know that you're heavily involved in putting lots of student community activities that I know received very, very well.
Yes, we have a lot of kind of community building activities, which generally for the whole of Silwood, and a lot of them are quite informal. So we do craft afternoons, all sorts of kind of crafting opportunities. And actually, I was off in January for a bit, and I had kind of students contacting me saying, why have we not had our craft afternoons? I was like, oh, sorry, I've been off. But so it's very nice that they were missed, actually. So I think it's just an opportunity for everyone to connect. And I think when we're all sitting there doing a bit of crochet or painting a pebble, we're all kind of on the same playing field, whether we're a professor or whether we're a master's student. So that's very well received. There's lots of other kind of activities going on. We've got we do pickleball on the Mugger pitch. So we had a tournament for that a little while ago. We've got book club. The book club meets monthly, and that's kind of again for the whole Silwood community. You don't have to have read the book, just come along. Sometimes the books that no one has liked has definitely generated the most interesting discussions, and I run that with our librarian Sarah.
Amazing, a great suite of activities for staff and for students as well, and I think that's
Definitely.
really great. So when you hear this theme of kind of give to gain that kind of International Women's Day is centered around this year, what does that mean to you?
I mean, within the role of student support, I mean, I am given the opportunity to support students kind of a lot, which I really enjoy, and I really benefit from that as well. I think on a personal level, it's just really nice. It's very fulfilling knowing that you've had a personal impact, a positive impact kind of on that person's kind of life. And I really benefit from that. And that's, I think, probably why I do this role. On a kind of a wider kind of remit in terms of Imperial, I'm also an Imperial mediator. So I'm part of the mediation scheme, which is where they have, obviously Imperial has trained us up. So we're all accredited mediators, and then we're all there to support staff members who are in dispute. Generally, it's kind of two staff members, and then we'll be helping them navigate their communication in order to hopefully allow them to work a bit better. And that is a bit confronting sometimes for everyone, including the mediator. And I really benefit from that, just through helping people, and also it helps you kind of look at your own communication styles as well. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Great. I mean, it's great to hear that. And I was just wondering if you could share a time when, somebody has given you support, whether that is time or flexibility in your role, encouragement, advocacy, but the kind of that support that makes a real difference to the way that you work.
Yeah. So just over a year ago now, my mum had a heart attack, which was kind of out of the blue, actually. And obviously it's a very difficult time. But my manager and other colleagues in the department were incredibly supportive. And I'm so grateful for that. And I was able to temporarily reduce my hours. So I was doing a 4-day week, and that just allowed me time to spend time with my mum when she was in hospital. And then when she came out of hospital, I was able to go over to her and, pick up her prescriptions. And she needed to do a little bit of walking. It was a kind of 10 minutes of walking and 15 minutes of walking. So then I'd accompany her on her little walks down the road. And I was so grateful for that. It's, everyone's got very busy lives. It would have been very difficult to have fitted that in on the weekend, along with all the other things that we're rushing around doing. So I was super grateful for that. So yeah, thank you very much.
I mean, it's great to hear that flexibility is something that can be built into roles, regardless of how long you've been in roles or not. And it's super important for morale, I would say. And although that was, a very unfortunate circumstance, kind of the flexibility and support that you were given, did that change how you saw your place in the department?
I think it really helps. I think you feel supported as well. I was supporting my mum, but I was also being supported. And I think you don't realise that you need that. So I think and it's just nice to know that, I guess, you've kind of got my back a bit. And and my manager couldn't have been kind of, kinder, really. And I think it's that kindness as well that you really need in kind of difficult times. So yeah, I was very grateful for that.
I think it's really important, because work is one thing, but everybody has a life outside of work.
And this stuff goes wrong sometimes. Yeah, kind of that's it. And I think being in Silwood Park, I am a little bit removed from kind of other kind of senior colleagues. So you don't chat with them. I think whereas your colleagues you chat to a little bit, so they know, perhaps someone's unwell or something. But of course, when there's 2 hours distance between us, but it's nice to know that, that people are there for, for me when I needed them.
And I wonder, in your role, what would you say are some ways that you try and support people around you?
I think Silwood is a very friendly place. I think we always say hello to kind of everyone, really. Hello. And I saw someone yesterday I didn't recognise, so I stopped him and asked him if he needed some help, and he was looking for something in particular. So I think we all at Silwood actually are very supportive of our colleagues. We often have coffee breaks kind of throughout the week, which is a good time to connect with each other. It's also, you often learn interesting things about what's going on campus as well. So it's kind of quite a good networking session. And again, kind of community building. So I think it's about kind of being friendly and kind to other people, and kind of looking out for people as well. I think it's just that kind of nice way of catching someone. If you're feeling a little bit sad or a little bit stressed, you go out and speak to the chickens, because we've got lots of chickens. Or we go and we've got a campus cat, Mr. Tinkles. We go and give Mr. Tinkles a stroke, and that's a jolly nice thing to do in your lunch break.
Yeah, I know the students love Mr. Tinkles, and there is
they do
a student society for him, and
chancellors of the firm,
and it's a great environment to be in. And it would be great to hear about how the contributions that you have made maybe have been recognised in your role, either departmentally or in an informal way or in a formal way.
I think student feedback to me is actually one of the most important kind of ways, because that's really, I guess that's really what a lot of the activities are aimed at, really. And the student feedback, and that's just sometimes through informal feedback, just, where I've met someone at the water machine or something, but also through the student committees. And we ran an exit survey as well at the end of last academic year. And yeah, I had some really lovely feedback from students about it feeling like a home from home. It's a really lovely way of connecting. I think kind of especially international students, kind of are, sometimes it's their first time in the UK as well. So we're offering them kind of a space to kind of feel kind of confident and, to speak to others. So that's been really good. I won an award, kind of a liaison award. That was a couple of years ago now, which was very nice. That's on my desk. But I think the most important to me is actually hearing it directly from the students, and that's lovely actually. And another activity which we're running at the moment, which has had really good feedback, is the language exchange, which is to do with kind of celebrating different students' cultures and identities and languages. And I had a students' shaper budget actually to help run that, and it's been incredible working with the students, all of which speak multiple languages, unlike me. So they've been fantastic in kind of planning the sessions and helping to run the sessions. And one of the student shaper partners has just sent me the plan for this week's session, which is all around Chinese New Year, and it just looks phenomenal. So yeah, so it's lovely to have the opportunities to attend those and be part of that. And yeah, the feedback is everything, really.
It sounds great. Would you mind if I ask some details about the language exchange
sure.
and what's happened?
Yeah, so it's so we've ran 4 sessions last term, and we've got 4 sessions this term. I'm obviously hoping to continue it after that, but that's our Student Shapers project end. So we've got 3 student shapers who are working in the project, and one of my colleagues as well. And the students are planning each session, and there's a fun activity. Last week, we were in teams, and we had words which were written in all sorts of different languages. Now, you might get a language that you knew, but you might not. And then you had to look at the word once and then write it on the whiteboard. And of course, it could have been in Mandarin or a language certainly that I don't know. And so it was very, very fun. And our team won, so that was good. Although no thanks to me, but it was a really fun activity to do. We've also had small group language sessions where you can join. I did Russian actually, which I'm unable to say anything in Russian, but I learned a little bit about it. So that was very interesting. And we've also done some kind of informal words. We were talking, with it obviously raining a lot at the moment. So we were talking last week in our language how we would say it's raining cats and dogs, and then we had to go round a circle, and then we'd say it in each other's language, and it's just a really nice thing to do. And I've learned quite a lot from that in terms of kind of other people's languages and cultures. So it does end at the end of February, but I'm hoping that we can continue it on in some format, because it's had fantastic student feedback, and that's open to all students and staff.
I mean, that sounds like a great initiative. So you said you'd higher education for 25 years, and I just wondered, what would be some advice that you may give to a younger version of yourself?
I think don't be afraid to take up opportunities, and don't be afraid to ask for help, because I think there's certainly been times in previous years where I have let opportunities slip through my fingers, and I think that's a confidence thing, or lack of confidence. And I think an example of that would be, I think if I had been asked to do this podcast, say 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, I don't think I would have done it. I just don't think I would have thought anyone would be interested in anything I had to say. So I think I've learned that. Don't let things slip through your fingers. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and take up your space.
Great advice, and actually is a key theme that's coming through in every podcast that I've done so far with staff members in the department, has been ask for help earlier, right? Yep. And I think that seems to be something that is really, really key. And leads me to my last question. If we're talking to the powers that be, whether that's the department or the faculty or Imperial or even the wider higher education sector, what's something that you would kind of change considering the theme of give to gain?
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting question, actually. And I think you could kind of go quite deep into that. And I think there were several things I thought about. And the first thing I thought was, which may be more insignificant, but I'd really like a well-being day. And if I was talking talking to my manager, I'd say, or senior management, I think a well-being day, and that's not obviously an annual leave day, there's not a college closure day, this is a well-being day for you, and you could do some training in that day that you haven't got time to do. You're really going to take a bit of time for your well-being. Maybe you're spending time with family or just going for a walk, but I just think that day it would be hugely beneficial to everyone, and I just think it would really feel like Imperial really cares about my well-being. So that would be something I would want. And I think as well as that, I think there is training available at Imperial, but I think maybe just more something tailored to you. Because I think there is, I mean, I've done quite a lot of training Imperial since I've been here, but maybe some more tailored things to you, or maybe something that helps you identify what training that you need.
Well, it's been fantastic speaking to you, and it's great to hear about all the fantastic work that you're doing at Silwood Park. So I'd just like to thank you, Clara, again, for being part of the podcast.
Thank you very much. Nice to chat.